Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my! It's just another night for Supernatural Girlz. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Psychic medium Helene Olsen and paranormal researcher Patricia Baker. Here are Supernatural Girlz.
To another exciting episode of Supernatural Girlz. I am your host, Patricia Baker, and Helene had another commitment tonight, so unfortunately she will not be joining us, but we do have our very famous co-host, numerologist Patricia Kirkman. And Patricia, welcome to the show. Oops, I lost her. I'm going to try to bring her back. Hi, Patricia.
Hello, sweetheart. How are
you? I'm great. Oops, you keep jumping back on me. There you go. Okay, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for co-hosting with me tonight.
Oh, I love it. It's so neat to be able to do this.
Well, isn't it fun? And I love working with you. So thanks again for joining the show. And I have to apologize to everybody. Again, we have thunderstorms, severe right overhead.
We have them from end to end. We've got them coming up over here, too, as well. In Tucson.
Oh, goodness. So just in case I get lost here, I will call back in. And we have a wonderful call screener here, Becky. And, Becky, I'm going to ask you if you start to hear too much thunder and lightning static on my line, just send me a message and I'll have to hang up and call back in. I can hear it, but I'm hoping nobody else can hear it. So anyways, more storms, huh? Storms for Tucson, storms for Western Mass. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, our monsoon season.
Oh, boy, lucky you.
It's 108 today.
Wow, and we were complaining because it was 80.
Well, that 8 was in both places. Does that count?
The what?
I said we had the number 8 in both places.
That's
80
right.
And 108.
Well, now that must be significant. What does it mean?
Oh, well, 8 has to do with our finances and taking control. By God, somebody wants to take control to do this to us.
I guess they do. They're letting us know who's in charge.
I think it's God.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Great Spirit is doing everything, and
that's for sure.
As much as we'd like to think we have input, I'm not so sure, but we're going to find out all about that from Danielle this evening. And she's going to be a terrific guest. I mean, she's really amazing. She is an ancient wisdom keeper, divine transmitter, and a leader in the shift into unity consciousness. Ooh. She is the author of 2 books, The Temples of Light and The Council of Light. We're going to be talking about that, all of this great stuff tonight, because I want to get what I want in life, and I know you do too.
Oh, I certainly do, and I know our audience does.
Yes, we all know we want to get what we want. It's just the getting there, and sometimes I think a lot of the New Age practitioners can make it sound easy. Well, you just have to believe in yourself, or you just have to meditate and say these affirmations or listen to binaural beats, and I want to hear more. It's like I know a lot of people who do that kind of work, and they're still in the same place. So that's why I'm so anxious to speak with Danielle tonight to hear what she has to say about all of this. And I see we already lost her once on the board, so I'm hoping that she'll call right back in, and there she is. And we'll be able to pick this up from there. But first and foremost, we have a very handsome star to talk about tonight.
Oh,
Ian
yes,
Somerhalder.
I'm drooling thinking about him.
I know it. Now, do tell. We want to know all about Ian. What's going on with this guy? Who is he, and what's going to be happening in his life?
Very, very interesting young man. firstly, from what I'm picking up here, he's a very good communicator, but he says what he wants when he wants to say it, and he doesn't really care if people don't pay attention. He's saying it because it's important for him to be heard.
Wow.
And he's a little on the anal side where he wants details taken care of. He likes to direct the traffic, so he's very headstrong. But
well, you've said this a lot before about our supernatural stars in a lot of these shows, that they're very detail-oriented. It seems to be a running theme.
Well, with him, though, he's very impatient. He jumps into things without thinking, and that's where he's going to get himself in trouble periodically. His looks won't take him forever. He's going to have to get the rest of him going to go along with it. He did play in Lost. He played Boone on Lost some years back.
Yeah, right.
But the thing right now, there's a lot of creativity in his chart, but he's so impatient and impulsive, and it's all about him. He has a tendency to live with me, my, and I.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. And he received the Male Hottie Award for 2 years in a row in Choice, so that's very nice for him.
It is.
He's definitely eye candy. He's going with a gal named Nikki Reed right now. That's who he's dating. But there's still controversy whether he's going to be staying on for the next season or two.
No
and the
kidding.
thing is, he's in a 9-year right now, which is wrapping up a lot of things, but it's good for the theater or for the arts. But it is also completion of things if he so desires. That being said, he also has a 27-9 destiny, so he's here for everybody else in this lifetime. Creatively, he can do wonders, but he has to get that little bit of ego out of the way for him to really become the star he wants to be.
That's
issues
not a
with
short
females.
order. That's
no.
tough.
But he has issues with females, and this goes back to the mother figure, I believe. So we will see him kind of like Ryan Seacrest, in and out of relationships for a long time before he really settles down.
Oh, boy. Now, he was dating one of the other stars we were discussing a couple weeks ago, Nina Dobrev, and that ended. And so that ended when? Like a couple years back or a year ago?
Right.
Or something?
About
I
a
think
year
it's
ago.
fairly recent.
Well, see, he's in his 9 years. So around between August and October of last year, he was wrapping up a lot of different things. But he seems to, he can have that second life because the 9-year for a person in the theater or anything to do with acting can go extremely well.
Oh.
But he's got to temper his patience a little bit and learn how to be in a partnership. He has two karmic lessons. One is to learn how to play pretty in a partnership and a relationship, and how to become patient and less insensitive. Those two together mean he has difficulty dealing with many of the people in the world at large because he wants it his way, and that makes it very dramatic on how he handles things. But he also, that deals with the number 9. He has a 27-9 destiny, and he just happens to be in a 9-year. So all of those things gathered together, he's at a shake it, make it, or break it time.
Wow. Well, you talk a lot, too, about how a lot of these stars want to have things their own way. And I wonder, is that part and parcel here of being an actor? It seems to be, because I can't think of anybody that you've read for that doesn't have that issue, at least a little bit.
Well, and what I've noticed is those that we've been looking at, they are in a position where dealing with the drama and what's going on for the world at large has been pretty high on all of their levels at this point in time. So just stop and think, those that are in a 9-year now are going into their 1 year as of January. So it's going to be fresh starts, new beginnings, and trying to make things move. But if they don't take care of the 9 stuff, which is endings, as well as making it great within the theater and arts, the endings could be pulled over into their 1 year and give them a false start, and they won't take off like they think they could or as they should.
Now, what do you think he's like to work with? Is he a team player like some of the other stars that you've looked at?
Well, he's overly sensitive, and he's kind of, because he's tends to be very hard-nosed about how he sees things. They're either black or white, So that could pose a problem. But he has a lot of creativity in his own self-esteem and in his flexibility. And when it comes to what we do for the universe at large, there's a lot of creativity around him there. Played correctly, he can do very, very well. And this month for him, he's thinking, planning, and really redoing and reviewing things from the past. You're going to see a major change come out somewhat next month, whether it's something that we won't hopefully learn about next month, but if we don't, we'll learn about it shortly thereafter, that has been put together during this period of time.
That's fascinating. I'm hearing.
It's going to be interesting to watch the young man.
Well, it is, and he's a great actor. I really enjoy him on The Vampire Diaries, and I can't imagine what the show would be like without him and without Paul Wesley. I mean, the whole tenor of the show would change so radically, and maybe that's what the writers are after. I don't know, but certainly they are the two staples. They're the two big male stars in that show. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody handles any kind of major change if either one of them or both want to drop out of the show. So we're all holding our breath here because I love watching them. They're just excellent.
Oh, yes. But, one of the things, too, considering, quote, they're the vampires, they can disappear and reappear.
That's true.
So that may be the twist they're going to use.
It could be, and maybe it'll allow them a little more freedom and to come and go as they please out of the series or
in more
back
ways
into
than
the
one.
series. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of the fun
light.
part about this.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to watch what's taking place, that's for sure.
Oh, gosh. Well, thanks so much, Patricia, for taking a look at Ian. He's certainly a fascinating actor and a very talented actor. I'm just hoping one of these paranormal shows is going to get recognized for the great acting that goes on. It just seems like they get glossed over just because they're on the CW network, which is a terrible shame because there are great actors there, and they're in a lot of these paranormal and supernatural shows. So
I think we're going to see changes coming up. It's going to be a bit, but I think we're going to see some major changes taking place.
Well, I hope it's for the better. We want to see our very special stars recognized for the talent they have. So
most definitely.
Yes, and plus they're very cute. So
you mean those chisel features that he just happened to have and those blue eyes?
Oh gosh, just dreamy. Like I said last time, I don't know where these guys were when I was growing up, but they didn't look like that. So
no, they weren't in my neighborhood either.
Darn.
Somebody hid them.
We have a great guest tonight, as I mentioned earlier, and we have Danielle Rama Hoffman. And again, she is an ancient wisdom keeper, divine transmitter, and a leader in the shift into unity consciousness. She is the author of 2 books, The Temples of Light and The Council of Light, and she is calling us from France. It's 1:30 in the morning or so there. Danielle, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks for staying up so late to talk to us here in the United States. Goodness, thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Your book was wonderful. Patricia and I both really enjoyed it. We've got a lot of questions for you. But first, please share with us how you started on this path.
Well, I would probably answer that question before this incarnation is how I started on this path. But, I think in this incarnation, I, at the age of 9 years old, went to a horseback riding camp. And then fast forward some years, the women who had the horseback riding camp also ended up being my Reiki teachers, and I had several powerful initiations there, including really reconnecting to the Egyptian lineage, a direct connection to Thoth or Thoth, the god of infinite knowledge, and then started bringing bodies of work from there. That's kind of a super short version of it, but I think I set it up before this incarnation.
Is that what you're saying, that you, when you were born into this life, you had past life memories as well already in place?
Well, what I'm saying is that I think that I set it up for myself in this incarnation to have a series of experiences that I said yes to that led to where I am today, and then not when I was a child, I didn't have past life memories, but certainly since then I've had past life memories.
I see.
How old were you when you first started realizing you were getting past life information?
I would say in my early 20s, but more so in my 30s, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. After you just starting into your midpoint, excellent that you would be having those memories then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also, you're living in France now, and were you born there, or do you have relatives there? What was the choice to move or to be in France?
Well, it really was following of the energy and the calling of my soul. I did have my astrocartography done, your astrology chart and the best places to live in on the planet, and southern France was in the top 2 for my husband and I, and I thought, why not? Let's follow the energy and see what unfolds, and it's really beautiful and amazing.
What an adventure. How long have you lived there?
For a year and a half.
Ah. What does your husband do that he could make that move with you so readily?
Well, he has his own business as well. He does hypnotherapy and timeline therapy, neuro-linguistic program. He's an author as well.
Well, that makes for a perfect relationship, doesn't it?
Yes.
Was this planned, or did you just both fall into it?
I always say he followed me because I started first, but
well, as it should be. The woman should lead, right?
That's right. Now, Danielle, you have written about and you have talked about Thoth. And could you tell us a little bit more about your relationship with this ancient Egyptian god and how this came to be?
Yes, I would love to. So I was initiated into the lineage of Thoth probably in early 2000, and really that was a turning point for me of having a direct connection to Source through Thoth or Thoth, Jehudi, and he is the Egyptian god of infinite knowledge, keeper of the Akashic records, architect, scribe, and for me, dear friend, business partner, and really after creating that direct connection, I was able to bring in bodies of work and my first book, The Temples of Light, and then he, after working with him really in a concentrated way, introduced me to the Council of Light, and that's where the connection to the information in my second book, The Council of Light, came through. And some people describe him as well as really the teacher's teacher or healer's healer. For me, I find him very light and humorous and nurturing, supportive, serving the goddess, very lunar, masculine energy.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Do you feel a pull to, since you've already written 2 books, are you feeling a pull to do a third?
Yes.
I'm picking that up. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I started right before my last birthday. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I think being a scribe, being a divine transmitter, that's always my pull to create, to bring forward. Yes, but you're right on there.
Good. That's nice to know that we've got more to look forward to.
Thank you.
when you start to work with putting your information out there to others, is it all, shall we say, do you feel a lot of emotion that goes with this, or is it very, I want to say, very direct, very black and white type feelings that you get?
I would say that it's been an evolution over the years, and that I wouldn't say that it feels very emotional. It feels more. The emotion is more of that sense of peace, that sense of contribution, of connecting to source. It's really one of my favorite sweet spots to be. And then I do notice that as the information comes through, that it usually creates a ripple in my life. That's probably where the emotion comes in terms of embodying the information. Like the Council of Light, their purpose is to enhance the vibration of joy, and so I definitely have embraced more of that frequency, that vibration of joy, that emotion of joy.
I'm back, you guys. I just wanted to let you know that lightning hit the phone and knocked me off. My phones are dead, but thank goodness for cell phones. So I'm back in the conversation with you both. Now, Danielle, it sounds like you have this amazing connection, not only with thoughts, but with the Council of Light, and you've been able to bring forth information to help other people, because not everyone is as lucky as you are to have this clear connection and to receive information like this. So for you, this is quite a gift that you have, and you're sharing it with other people, which is tremendous. But I've heard from a lot of people around the world who have used a lot of meditation techniques and all kinds of listening to channeling, as well as yoga, and I mean, name it, they've done it. Binaural beats, it's just, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and they end up very frustrated because they're still not seeing what they want in their lives. So I'm really thrilled that you're here tonight, because I think it's important to hear from you. You have a lot of experience with this, and what can you share with people that can help pull them out of a place where they're not seeing the results and bring them to a place where they are?
Yes, well, that really is a beautiful question, and I just want to start by saying I've also had those experiences of having the consciousness come in, the vibration come in, doing everything under the sun, and then not having exactly the result that I wanted to. So I want to start by just saying that yeah, and also that it really would depend on the individual how I would respond would be.
What, honey? I'm on the radio.
Related to
start at 4:30.
Related to what
we're having several conversations here.
Yeah, so I think it would depend on the person, what I would say, but I do think that being able to really accept where we are is a beautiful first step in terms of then being able to access where we want to be.
Well,
yeah,
that is, I think, a very important part, and I'm glad you brought that up. First, you got to acknowledge where you are. So even if you're in the pits of frustration and you feel like things aren't going your way, and all of these activities that you've been doing or non-actions you've been doing, like meditation, aren't providing you with the goal that you're hoping to achieve, it's still important to say, well, look, this is where I am right now. And I like that. I think that's important, and acknowledge where you are in this moment. But after that, then what do you do? What would you recommend? And I know it's going to be different for everybody, because some people are looking for love, some people are looking for money and a better job, some people are looking for total enlightenment. So there's a lot of factors here But just as generally as you can speak to this, with your counsel and light and thoughts, what kind of advice can you give people today?
Well, one of the themes that is really strong in the Counsel of Light book is really inviting each person to be who they are full out, and that's one of the easiest ways to really be in this shift in consciousness in the larger scale of things, but then also in the individual's lifetime, their experience to be who it is that they are really helps with that process. So I think that really a question that somebody can ask throughout the day is this me? Is this pleasing me? That I think that really taking the energy back from trying to fit in, trying to look like everybody else can really be an important step. And I know in the work that I do of shifting from separation consciousness to unity consciousness, and personally as well, that there's so much that really can be just embedded around that standing out or being paranormal or being whoever they are, their quirks, right. that can be a really scary thing. And yet, for me, when I really stepped into it in a more visible way, it is where and when a lot of those results shifted. So that's what I would say. I mean, I think if we ask the Counsel of Light and Thoth directly, they might have a different answer.
Well, and now that is another thing that you're bringing up. I wanted more information about when you speak with the Counsel of Light. Is this a channeling experience, or is it a conversation that you would have with them? How does this happen?
Well, it's been an evolution, and right now it is what looks like channeling. What is channeling? I like to call it divine transmitting or scribing. So I plug in directly and then speak the information, the consciousness. It's kind of, I think, like translating what comes through. And in the past I have done it more of a conversation, and it just seems like more of the vibration comes through when it's directly like that.
Do you meditate prior to step into this particular space, or can it happen at any time? Is it? I don't want to use the word program because that's not what I mean. But is there a particular timing that works well for you to bring this in?
No, I really can plug in as long as I'm in a vibrational frequency or proximity. If I'm really upset or really in an illusion, it's not that easy to tap in. But I don't have to. I can just drop into it in a moment or two.
Wonderful. What a gift.
Yeah, that is quite a gift. And there's so many people in our audience listening tonight that I know are going to be asking a lot of questions about this, because they would love to be able to have this direct connection to beings of light and wisdom and to be able to access this. Do you feel that most of us can do that?
Yes, I believe that we all can if we choose to, and that we all are in our own unique way. When you were asking me earlier, like how old was I when I had my first past life experiences, that came later, but I was always very sensitive and intuitive and very kinesthetic. So I think that everyone has their own signature signals when they're tapping into their intuition or their guidance, and it's a matter of really allowing that, developing that, and perhaps at times separating. What I notice a lot with people is that sometimes they stop the guidance from coming because they are afraid that then they have to implement the guidance. And that I think but that's always a choice, and to have it be at times two separate steps that you can access the guidance, and it may not be from a light being, it may be from the gut instinct or from the intuition or whatever language or place to come from. For me, I happen to have really built the relationship with my guidance, with my guides, that it is like a relationship, that investing time or focus, and also I think it happens quickly. It's innate. Sometimes it happens so quickly that then people just discount whatever comes through.
Well,
when you're talking,
go ahead,
Patricia. I was going to say, when you're talking of the rays of light, do you see specific colors as you're working with different aspects?
Yeah, it's interesting because in the Council of Light book, the first half of the book is about the rays of light, and the second half is conversations with the Council of Light about health and wealth and happiness. And really, the Council of Light really kept it open in terms of the colors, and I think that is to allow for people's direct connection and their direct experience of the ray of light of love, or the ray of light of joy, or the ray of light of the emerald ray. So I don't see colors necessarily to be open.
And with these different colors that Patricia just asked you about, what's nice about your book, and I highly recommend it to people, is that it breaks all of this down so people can understand what these different rays of light are about. So when they go to make their own connections, they can use your book kind of as a reference, right?
And to help build a direct connection with their own Council of Light, if that's something that they're choosing.
And for you, I watched one of your videos today. I loved it. And this whole premise of being able to really live out loud, live who you really are, is wonderful. And when I was watching the video, you were speaking in another language for part of the time, doing, I guess it would be chanting. What is that language? It was so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's the light language, or the language of light, and that usually comes in when there is energy and consciousness that wants to be transmitted in a pure frequency, or in a way that transcends the intellect, or transcends, because sometimes the words we can have filters or get caught up in the words, and the light language it's almost like thinking about a color. It's an application of frequency, and then usually what happens for me when the light language comes in is that then it gets translated in English words to understand those blocks of consciousness that come in through light.
It's very beautiful. I loved listening to it. It was there was a real harmony to the language that was
very delightful.
Lovely.
Yes, it was
lovely. So when you work with people, do you see individual clients? I mean, do you work with groups? How, besides your books, do you pass this information along?
Yes, I do work with groups and individuals. And, for example, I have Toast Magic Academy, which is a year and a day video program where people receive a 20-minute video each day direct from the Council of Light and Toast to help them be who they are, full out, anchored in unity consciousness. And then I also work with people directly to really bring in their unique bodies of work, and that's more of the one-on-one work to help them access their divine guidance and bring in bodies of work, bring in, write their books, create programs, share their essence. And you know, when you were asking earlier about how people can really shift, you know, I noticed, I just kind of put language to this, but for me, when I'm in that place of sharing my contribution or bringing in information, I'm really in that empowered creator being and moving out of that separation or that sense of powerlessness or that sense of things aren't working. So I think that can be a beautiful way for people to shift as well. It's kind of saying the same thing, but to be who they are full out and to contribute in their way. Maybe it's being a mother, or you know, I think the contribution doesn't have to be in a book. It can be just who it is that we're being.
That's true. And I think it's sometimes a little bit easier to make these shifts in a group. So when you're offering classes and things like that, sometimes the whole vibration of the class can help everybody shift, don't you think?
Yes, I've had group sessions for years, and that's also really part of where the Council of Light information came from, is that I had monthly group sessions with the Council of Light on different topics and would do individualized body readings, and it was amazing. And I still find this to be true, that when we come together in a group, that we really benefit from what each person's bringing. And and so many people say that when something comes through for one person, it really relates to them as well, that there can be that exponential consciousness that happens in a group setting.
Yeah, group setting is so powerful. So I have a question here for you from the chat room. They want to know, what is the process to get into the right vibrational frequency?
Yes, well, as always with questions, there is that awareness of what's underneath the question, and sometimes the question can really be a beautiful way to be in that vibrational energy, that vibrational proximity to get information. And so when the questions ask what's the right way to get into that vibration, there's the awareness that it's really what's your way. So that might be a good way just to slightly change that question, to say, well, for the person that's asking it, what is my way to be in the vibration that's going to access that guidance? And I think generally also really whatever creates a sense of letting go. Maybe that's meditating, maybe that's laughing, maybe that's going for a walk, really being in that high vibration. That sometimes I think we can take it too seriously, but really doing what we enjoy, or being in that state, or for me it's being in nature, that all those kinds of things can really, really help. So yeah, just also shifting a little bit that there's no right way or wrong way. It's really what's your way. So that could be a fun question to ask. What's my way? And that asking a question can be what starts it, and also sometimes choosing the form. And I've played with lots of forms over the years, that sometimes I just meditate and ask a question, see if I receive anything. Other times it's, just writing, to this streams of consciousness writing, this speaking. It really depends on the individual's language. But I think in general, being in a high vibration, having fun, being in a receptive mode, all those things can really help.
That's a great answer, Danielle. Thank you for that. And also our chat room thanks you. They love that answer too. With change, when people are finding it difficult, one of the things that I was reading about and hearing about, which made a lot of sense to me, is that you can't make a change from the consciousness that created the problem. So raising your vibration, which you talk about in your book, and working with the Council of Light or working on these different rays is a definite help, because that's the stuff that can make you make that leap into a different frame of consciousness. Is that what you find helps people?
Yes, and the Council of Light speak about this in the book as well, is that really we are in this shift of consciousness. It is an overlap time in people's lifetimes, that they're born into one way of being, maybe that separation or duality or illusion, or if you look at it from the astrology, the Piscean age, the third chakra, and then it's this transition time of being in the heart, the Aquarian age, the connection to really being who it is that we are, this unity consciousness. And so it's like telling somebody who lived before there was a telephone that they could just pick up something and speak to somebody across the world, that for them that hasn't been the experience. But if they live 100 years, then at one point the telephone just becomes a natural part of their world, their evolution. And Thoth talks about that a lot in the Magic Academy as well, is that it is a process of dismantling our old identities, how it is that we used to think. And the quote that he says a lot is, "You can't get here from there." So I have experienced that personally, that there is this disintegration of the ways that got us where we were in the past, as we're embracing that change and moving into the unknown, but from a place of wholeness, from a place of knowing who it is that we are.
Yeah, I speak to so many people, I know, Patricia, you do as well, who, again, feel frustrated. They feel like I'm having trouble making that transition into a more enlightened consciousness or something like that. And they end up almost back where they started, blaming themselves, which I think is where they started. If you understand what I mean, it's a self-blame that creates some of this stuckness. So this need to change the vibration, and I think it's so important what you shared about being in nature, because that is a much higher vibration, and just having that around you can make a big difference. So I love that you shared that.
Do you find that being by and or around water is more therapeutic than any specific element, or does it not matter?
I would say it depends on the person. For me, the woods and that type of nature really is amazing. And I know, like for my husband, for example, water he just adores. So I think that will vary. But I think what's in common is it's easy to receive from nature. And I think nature, it's easy just to be who we are with nature, that nature can contribute to us, we can contribute to nature. It can just be really easy to receive. And you keep kind of asking this question, so I'm feeling like, what happens when people are really frustrated? What can they do? And I just want to share from my personal journey that I have really had the experience of feeling powerless and being in that sense of separation, in that sense of what could be called what I could call the sense of being in that victim consciousness, or that feeling like things are done to me, that I haven't been able to make a shift. And I do think that there's so much in there, and the Council of Light talks about that as well, that we don't have to get rid of anything, that it's about including it into the wholeness, that our frustration can be rocket fuel for our evolution. That for me, that victim consciousness has been rocket fuel for me to be in the creator consciousness, the creator being of really being in that space. So I think there's some subtle changes that really can create that shift in consciousness. But I've been in the healing arts now for 20 years, and really trying to get rid of something that we don't like about ourselves, I find doesn't really work. But to
I love that. That's great. It's just a great direction, I think. Yes, absolutely. To offer to people, Danielle, you're bringing a whole new insight to manifestation and how people can make these changes. And as you're saying, it's a very powerful exercise to play this role out as much as you want and get comfortable with it to the point where you can embrace it. And that's where the change begins to happen. So it's just great direction. So we're going to take a very short break, and Danielle gives you a chance to get a sip of water and catch your breath there so late at night in France. And if for anybody who has a question for Danielle, the number to call in is 646-478-0828, or you can write it out in our chat board, and we will ask Danielle for you. Again, the phone number is 646-478-0828, and stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back.
This is Veronique Raskin, founder of the Organic Wine Company. As one of the pioneers of the organic wine movement, since 1980 I have brought you the very best and most authentic organic wines directly to your table. I work with small family estates who grow certified organic grapes and produce exceptional wines. You can purchase our wines individually from our website at theorganicwinecompany.com or join one of our wine clubs. Our organic wines are perfect for you and for your family as gifts for friends and relatives, and they are simply spectacular for the holidays. Visit us at theorganicwinecompany.com to enjoy the very best organic wines conveniently delivered to your door. I am Veronique Raskin, passionate about my mission. I offer to you vegan, organic, and biodynamic wines, wines made by people of the heart, wines with a heart. Au revoir. Call us at 1-888-ECO-WINE.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the source. With cosmic fusion, the source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion. www.cosmicfusion.com to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com. Your property tax bill
Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We are having a delightful conversation tonight with author Danielle Rama Hoffman, who is called in from France. And I'm in the middle of a thunderstorm over my head, and Patricia, you are too. And it is very exciting. It's very exciting in nature tonight, and it lets us know who's in charge. That is for sure. But if you have a question for our guest, Danielle, then please call in at 646-478-0828. And also, please remember to go to our website, supernaturalgirlz.com. Make sure you're signed up for our newsletter and following us on Twitter so you'll be a part of everything exciting we're doing. We've just started to share our skull experiment results with people. So please be sure to take a look at all of that. It's coming out piece by piece in the blog, and some really, really incredible photos that we're sharing with everybody. We've kind of kept them undercover for months, but now we're bringing them out to share with you all. And they are on the blog, which is at blogger.com. And I will be changing that because the other blog doesn't reflect these yet on the website. But it's in the newsletter, so make sure you're signed up at supernaturalgirls.com. So, my goodness, this is just a great conversation, Danielle. We're so enjoying this with you. Thank you again so much for coming on the air so late at night in France to be with us.
Yes, I'm really enjoying it as well.
Now, with thought, I mean, it's such a great entity. I mean, such an incredibly powerful entity, an ancient one. Are there any experiences that you've had that you'd care to share with us and our audience tonight that were especially profound or powerful, made a big difference for you?
You know, I think when you asked that, the first one that came to mind was really being in Egypt. And I remember that we had gone to see some Sufi dancing, you know, so I'd watched that twirling for however long, and I was in the bus on the way back to the hotel and could see Thoth with my open eyes in the back of the bus. And you know, that wasn't my and isn't my normal experience, you know, that I can sense him or feel him or see him with my eyes closed, but to see him really with my eyes open was so extraordinary, startling, and so much that I even kind of did a double, like a checking of IDs just to see, like, well, who is that and what's happening. And you know, so that's one thing that comes to mind. And you know, and I think also just having this partnership, this interplay, and you know, being in Egypt as well, and having brought in bodies of work about the Egyptian gods and goddesses, and then really having Thoth invite me to bring in consciousness about the temples of light. And so that's been an amazing experience, that's the one that kind of is the most like seeing him with my eyes open. It was really amazing.
So one of the questions from the chat room is, did he look like the statue? Did he look like the Egyptian drawings? Is that what he looks like when you actually saw him with your eyes?
I did see him in that ibis-headed form with the human body, and with my eyes open, and in my relationship with him, I do see him in different forms, and I think what's coming forth for me from that question is really also the sense of signature energy, that Thoth has a signature energy that I recognize, that people can recognize, and the form, sometimes I think it's just kind of, the form can change. So sometimes I see him as an old man, sometimes I see him really as the color blue, or as the blue heron or the ibis, that it can change, but there's a signature energy, a quality to the frequency and vibration that is recognizable, and that's something that we all have, a signature energy. It's kind of that what comes forth first when the phone rings and we know it's our mom or a friend, or the signature energy can be sensed when somebody's coming in the room before they come into the room. But that time, yes, it was as is shown in Egypt, in that anthropomorphic form, the ibis-headed human form.
What a powerful experience that must have been. Goodness, that
sounds absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you find that different places of which you go into this color aspect, are the colors, as you said, the vibrant blues, are there specific colors that resonate more with him than others?
Well, I noticed for me that when he shows up, blue, for example, or when I see him kind of in the old man form with the white beard, the kind of more of what I associate with the Atlantean form, that there is a purpose there. It's like with animal totems, they talk about the white. When you see a white bear, it's kind of the spirit animal. So when the blue comes through, for me, it's that sense of more of the architect, because he is the ascended master of different things, the Akashic records, the architect, healing, communication, writing. So some of those nuances are reflected in the color or the form that he might come in. He's also shown as the baboon in the Egyptian form, and in non-Egyptian forms. I just happen to have a strong Egyptian connection. He's also Hermes and Mercury.
Now, one of the other questions from the chat room is about Thoth again, and they would like to know, when you saw Thoth, was he solid or was he transparent? Could you see through him? People are fascinated by this.
Yeah, well, it's really bringing back the memory. I would say that the more we talk about it, I would probably describe it as I saw him multidimensionally. So I'm saying that I saw him with my open eyes, and that was one way that I saw him, one sensation that I saw him, yet I also really perceived him multidimensionally, and that multidimensionality was simultaneously solid and energetic. So not translucent, I couldn't see through him, yet it was like seeing the multidimensionality, the wholeness of him, seeing the energy of him, the fullness of him.
How exciting. I mean, so many of the entities and ancient figures from Egypt I've heard and I've seen myself have a very dark blue color to them, like a telekinetic dark blue. Would you say that's what you see with him?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the that dark blue that you're describing, but it's kind of like a lapis. There's a vibrancy.
Yes, like a royal
that
to
would
it.
be a dark blue.
To it, yeah.
And it's great that with your book you're encouraging people to go out and try this for themselves, because, again, our audience is fascinated by your experiences and would love to have, a lot of them would love to have these experiences themselves. So it's great you're encouraging people to give it a try. Don't be afraid of it.
Yes, and there are really many exercises in the book to form a direct relationship with the Council of Light, and for myself and for those that I work with as well, or those that choose to have this connection to guidance. I think it can just be such an efficient way of living, to have that inspired action, to really receive the insights or the guidance or the intuitions, and then move forward, because there's millions of choices that we can take. And I remember one of the bodies of work that I brought in is manifestation mastery, and that was the first time really I was aware of us having a manifestation team. And so also calling upon our Council of Light or our manifestation team, our support from the light beings to really support us to be in those perfect people, places, and opportunities. That there really is that support beyond just what we're doing or what we're feeling, what we're thinking, the action that we're taking.
That's nice to know. There's kind of a support system out there interdimensionally, and almost like a safety net in some ways too. So that's, again, very encouraging for people. And here's another question from the chat room about flowers in nature, the scent of flowers. Can you use this successfully to raise your vibration?
Yes. And that brings to mind, too, that some people, as they're connecting to their guidance or source or light beings, for example, Isis, when I connect with her, and there's just this rose scent that sometimes I smell the scent, sometimes even before I have a connection with her. And yes, absolutely, that connecting with flowers can be a way of raising the vibration and smelling them, because it also brings us in touch with beauty, and that's a high vibrational frequency. It's also becoming aware of, well, what are those high vibrational sensations or frequencies? Beauty, joy, love, those are all, anything that gets us into those can raise our vibrations.
Danielle, does the Ankh have any significance in this?
Well, the Ankh really is an activation rod, the merging of the divine feminine and the masculine. It was often used in ancient Egypt as that activation rod, and as you're asking me that was another experience I had in Egypt with the goddess Nekbet, who's the vulture goddess, and really seeing Nekbet in the sky while I was on the Nile, and then these string of Ankhs coming down from the sky into the water and then going back up, and it was almost like the Ankhs were lifting that which was no longer necessary and bringing forth that eternal life. So as you asked that question, my awareness is probably also, in reminding me of that experience, was also very extraordinary. But yes, the Ankh can be used as that activation rod and that awareness of our eternal life, that we are divine. We are beyond just how we might see ourselves as body and mind, emotion in this incarnation.
Is there any metal that we would use, say silver or gold or stone, that would enhance our ability to work with this?
Well, that again would really depend on the person. I know that steel, for example, is used a lot in Kundalini yoga to strengthen the electromagnetic field, and you see some of those copper bracelets.
Right.
It's not something that I have a lot of experience with, but I do love jewelry, and I noticed that as well. That when I'm wearing
too, I love jewelry too.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know, Danielle. So we can buy the right jewelry.
Yeah.
Well, many times we unconsciously will put on something to wear or a piece of jewelry, and we'll find how it affects us throughout the day as we go through different elements. And when we're talking about the different rays and how it pulls us in, and that's why I was wondering if there was a specific metal that may act as a catalyst to enhance what we're going through or our opportunity to step into this other realm.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the rays of light is the emerald ray, and the emerald ray is the U ray and really helps amplify the signature energy. So I think calling upon the energy of emerald, it doesn't necessarily have to be wearing it, but can also support that connection to the emerald ray.
Mm-hmm. This is very, very fascinating, Danielle. It just opens up so many doors that have... It's almost like standing at a little children in a candy store trying to figure out which color or which direction to go first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun to listen to, and it's so nice that you're sharing this experience, your personal experience with everybody, and that you also know what it's like to feel kind of trapped and not able to move beyond, but yet you have all of these wonderful things to share with people, that people can try different things, see what works for them, what can get them out of this particular funk and back on track with their higher selves or consciousness, and also in having a wonderful relationship with the entities around them, whether they be ancient Egyptian or angelic or interdimensional or their own spirit guides, whatever. There's so many out there, like you said, to choose from. And your book, The Council of Light, which is available on Amazon.com, is a wonderful guidebook for that.
I also was fascinated by the fact that the choice to live to be awakened and making choices, and that everything comes in many different states, the state of dream or the state of illusion, as you wrote about, it really draws one in and gives them a different aspect of thinking.
And that's what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
It takes to reframe this way of thinking that we may be stuck in. So, yeah, and all of this work that you put forth in your two books does that. Now, I have another question from the chat room. Somebody wants to know if you give readings for people from the Council of Light. Like, say, for example, somebody would come to you with questions and things that they're experiencing in life. With the Council of Light, do you do a reading like that for people?
Well, I have a monthly group with the Council of Light that is interactive, and that's a great place to begin. I've really shifted my one-on-one experience from in the past. I was doing those types of sessions, readings, just one at a time, to now really feeling called to work with people more in depth and over time. Yet for somebody who's just getting to know me or has some questions, they can join the monthly Joy Pods is one way. And then I also have a Ask the Divine, which is a complimentary program on my website, divinetransmissions.com, where people can submit their questions, and then those questions are some of those questions are selected, and the Council of Light responds to them. So that's also a great way for people to get the questions answered.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And again, your website is divinetransmissions.com. So for anybody who wants to participate in the group readings and submit their questions, go to Divine Transmissions. That's with an S, right? Transmissions, plural, .com. So
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to say divine, D-I-V-I-N-E.
Right. That's the right way to
Very
spell
good.
it. So,
well, that's going to be fascinating for people to take a look at and see more information about you.
yes, and also I have somebody in the chat room right now, actually on the line, who has a question, and it sounds like instead of you doing a Council of Light reading tonight on the air, that they would be able to join you on your website and submit their question for you and the council.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to bring in the Council of Light and answer their question if you guys are up
you
for
would?
that.
Well, that would be great. Then I'm
Yeah.
going to bring Debbie on the line, and I'm going to have her ask the Council of Light and you, Danielle. Debbie, you're live on the air. Supernatural Girlz. Hi.
Oh, wow. Hi. How are you?
We're all doing great, and thank you for your call. What is your question for Danielle and the Council of Light?
Well, I look at angel numbers throughout the day, and I have a place where I go that tells you what it means when you see certain numbers all day. Or in this particular one, it said that I need to complete a task that's close to my heart, and this is what's going to, this is an important step because it must come to a conclusion in order to clear the way for new opportunity to take its place. And this would be the next step in my spiritual journey. So I was wondering what that task might be. Something that's close to my heart. I don't know if you can answer a question like that.
So this is the Council of Light that's moving more into the forefront of this now moment and transmitting the emerald ray, the U ray, for you to really connect to your unique vibration, your signature energy, your awareness of what that answer is, that response is, and our awareness of what it is that is wanting to come through in response to your question is also more of really, in whatever that is that's close to your heart that you choose to complete, that you do it really as you. And that can be such a beautiful quantum evolutionary process when you're involved in something that is close to your heart that allows you to really be in more facets of you. So that might be another question to ask yourself to really come in on what it is that's there. And we are also having the awareness, since you asked, about really completing something that was a part of your formative years, earlier childhood, simultaneously almost like a dream, but also an energy that wants to be completed, a pattern. So now we're getting into it in another way. So that could be another way to think of it, because when you first hear that, it can also sound like a project or something like that. Yet the way that we're tuning into it now is we're tuning into this childhood way of being, is that something that's close to your heart is also an old way of being that's no longer serving you. So it's back to what was spoken about earlier in the conversation, that you stopped doing something that you had been doing. So is that bringing anything to mind? Has that answered your question or put you in the direction that you can access that answer more fully?
If I'm thinking of, if I'm understanding, you were saying something that's in my childhood, or did I misunderstand that?
Well, what do you do that if you stop doing would make all the difference moving forward in your life? A habit or a limited way of being?
Mm-hmm.
And
you're asking specifically.
And whatever that is, started in your childhood. And you don't have to answer, but that's a way of tapping into it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, that gives you something to think about, Debbie.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my goodness.
Very fascinating. Very fascinating.
Very, very deep.
Yes. Well, Debbie, thank you for your call. We're going to let you meditate on that a little bit.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your call, Debbie.
Thank you.
Great. So, again, this is just fascinating the way you're able to tune in with the Council of Light, number one, and then offer guidance for people. What an exciting thing for everybody. And then encourage them to also do this for themselves. So this is great. This is all really good information for everybody and very good encouragement. Now, one of the things that you talk about in the book and the Council of Light talks about is the issue of health. And Danielle, I was wondering if you could share something about that. There's so many people out there today with health issues. So what does the Council of Light have to say about this?
Mm-hmm. Well, there is also a recalibration of the word health, that even the word health is often connected to duality, that there is health or unhealth, that there is the lack of health, even in the word health, and to expand the definition of health to really be a state of being, and to have the awareness that health never goes away from the perspective of the eternal life self, of the whole self, even in death. And we know that sounds perhaps an odd way of expressing it, to say even when somebody is transitioning out of the body and their body is in a state of disease, that health still exists, and yet everything always exists in every moment. So how is it that the individual can tune into the health that's already there? One of the exercises that's provided in the book is to flip-flop back and forth between the experience of healthy, unhealthy, healthy, unhealthy, healthy, unhealthy, healthy, unhealthy, and to just say that out loud, and also to have the awareness that maybe when you have a cold, for example, that 99% of your body, even the cold, is an aspect of health, that where put your attention also on what is flowing, where the health is, and to really, as much as possible, develop that state of equanimity, because the joy as a vibration, it is existing in all moments. So how can you be in that vibration of joy? How can you be in that awareness of the wholeness of all that there is in more and more and more moments? So that can be a quick exercise to healthy, unhealthy, healthy, unhealthy, healthy, unhealthy. And it is like flipping a coin back and forth, so then it spins, and then it becomes one. It becomes the wholeness rather than the duality. So that's a little bit of what we'd share about health.
That's fascinating. So it's basically spinning it back into a wholeness aspect. And it's funny, when I heard you say healthy, unhealthy, I also heard you say healthy, unholy, which is interesting, because isn't it a lack of wholeness that creates these health problems so many times? So it's nice to give people these empowerment exercises to try to get a little more of a foothold on their own health.
And also to be able to look at things in a very minute way and allow it to build up so that we can see what the end result is.
Right.
Taking our baby steps to open the doors.
Yeah, we need to do that. And I know so many people were facing major health crises today. I don't know how it is in France, but here in the United States, it just seems like we have a burgeoning health crisis. So do you find the same thing in France, or people a little more on the health plane?
Yeah, so the experience across the globe really is one that is amplifying the awareness. And also what's wanting to come through around that is that as there is the experience of a lack of health, for example, and this can be where the frustration comes in for people, is that also can be a natural part of the process of living from a higher vibration, that as you move into a higher vibration, that which is moving more slowly must come to the surface to be included in the wholeness, to be included in that oneness. So to not be discouraged when there are those slower vibrational experiences, to even take them at times as a sign and that the vibration is increasing, is enhancing, and to allow it to move through. Sometimes it's like shuffling a deck of cards, and while the deck of cards is being shuffled, you could see a king, you could see a 2, you could see a 3, you could see an 8, and if you try to hold on to the king, the 8, the 2, the 3, to say, well, that's the card that's going to be the one that's lifted, that isn't as useful as if just letting the card shuffle, and then when the card is actually going to be there, allowing that one to be the one that it is. So that also can be a reframe for people as they're looking at their health. How can you be in a state that allows it to be energy in motion, to not get attached to it, that the cells in the body regenerate every 7 years. So how is it that you're continuing to tell the cells that they're unhealthy day after day after day? How can you tell them that actually they are regenerating, they are connected to wholeness, to oneness? And from our perspective, joy is not a result of things that you have or things that you manifest or things that you achieve. It can be a state of being, and health as well can be that state of being even within a lack of health.
That's a great perspective, and I think it's a little easier to get a handle on that when you have something minor and a little more of a challenge when you have something that's life-threatening. But it's still a good exercise, and it's still an interesting perspective because we don't want to reject ourselves because we're sick. And a lot of times that's what happens, is we feel like we failed in some way. So that becomes a self-rejection. And what you're talking about, again, which I love, is the self-acceptance. It has to be there no matter what's going on. And that makes all the difference in the world.
The old adage of dis-ease does create the disease if we're willing to open up and allow the other aspects to come forth.
Yeah, and maybe we don't have to be sick. Right.
That's right. Wouldn't that be nice?
Illness. Yeah, wow, it's a heavy-duty one for a lot of people. So how nice to be able to have this as an exercise to like you mentioned, reframe this and see this in a totally different perspective. It's so, I think, liberating to have this. And it's not about self-blame. It's not about nobody failed. It's about accepting and understanding and bringing all this stuff, as you mentioned, up to awareness, so that you can move from that place. And isn't that the key? Bring it all up to awareness. Don't try to get rid of it. Bring it to awareness, and that's the place where it transmutes.
Yes, and it can be easier to embrace that state of being when it's something minor, and it can also apply when it is that life, quote-unquote, life-challenging experience, again, from that perspective of the wholeness of the eternal being, and not to minimize the challenge of that or the hardness of that, yet see death as well as having life within it, life, death, life, death, life, that it is one, that it is eternal, that there is only that wholeness, and that perspective can also be one that can support regardless of the level of the situation.
So helpful, I think. And I keep thinking back of the Sufis you were watching in Egypt that led to your vision of thought. I mean, that is it, isn't it? The spinning, the bringing it all to oneness.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful thought process here that can really make a difference and can really change a lot of things for people. And again, the book is The Council of Light. The author is Danielle Rama Hoffman, and the website is divinetransmissions.com, where you can join in on classes and submit questions and do all kinds of exciting things. So let me ask you, Danielle, would you mind checking in with the council and seeing if there's any message that they have for our audience tonight?
Well, the message that is coming forth is being transmitted, broadcasted on a multidimensional level. So the invitation is to perceive it from wholeness to wholeness, and that is one of the enjoyable things of us being together in this way. As we are in wholeness with your wholeness, it allows you to move into more of what is already there, and that is what we're saying, is that when you're being you full out, it allows you to access what has been there all along, the wholeness, the joy, the vibration of health, the vibration of oneness. And there is the joy ray as well that's being transmitted that people can call upon to support and nourish their systems. And it is just great gratitude, love, and appreciation for each and every person, and the awareness that everything in your life has had purpose, that there is no reason to go into blame ever. Everything has had its purpose and its right place. All is well, and you are all.
You use a phrase in the book when you're talking about money and prosperity about delivering yourself to yourself. And actually that works in all aspects of this, does it not?
Yes.
That's just such a beautiful way of phrasing it. If we don't take care of ourselves, how else can it take place?
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yes. Well, Danielle, we can't thank you enough, again, for interrupting your sleep time, your dream time, and everything else to be with us on the show and putting up with thunder and lightning over our heads and sound and audio issues as a result. But, again, you've been very patient with us with all of that this evening, as has our audience. So thank you all. But, Danielle, special thanks to you for coming on the show tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you, and I hope you'll come back. I know you're going to be writing more books, so please let us know when the next one's coming out.
Definitely,
yeah,
and we do wish you sweet dreams.
Oh, thank you. It's been such a pleasure and delight to be with you, and I just had such a strong sense that, I needed to be on the show, regardless of the hours, so thank you. It's been amazing.
Well, thank you. You are just very special in the way that you're holding the energy, you're holding the form for all of us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, everybody, that's going to wrap up another great show. And this was Danielle Rama Hoffman we were speaking with, who is the author of a great book called The Council of Light, which you can find at Amazon.com. And you can also find Danielle at divinetransmissions.com. So, Patricia, my goodness, this has been so exciting tonight. It's a lot.
Fascinating, so fascinating.
It is. Well, we have a great Danielle, just another one here. A lot of fabulous people who come to Supernatural Girlz every week. So again, make sure you guys sign up on supernaturalgirlz.com for the newsletter. For Twitter, make sure you follow us there, and on Facebook, we've got lots of exciting stuff coming up, and more exciting guests, and also Patricia Kirkman, you will have a celebrity next week, and we also are interested to know if you have a celebrity in mind that you would like Patricia to take a look at. So do email us at info@supernaturalgirlz.com, or you can just go to the website, and there's a form there that says Let's Talk. You can just fill that out, and it'll come right to us, and Patricia will take a look and see what celebrities you want to hear about. But we're just going to keep going with the paranormal stars, because there are so many talented stars out there that are in paranormal and supernatural shows. So we're going to keep that rolling along. So everybody, thank you again for joining us, and we'll be back next week with another great show. Good night, Patricia. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Patricia. Good night, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with Supernatural Girlz.